All right, it's time to move on to chapter 3, looking at some really great case studies from large conferences down to small summits and even completely digital summits. How can we sell virtual tickets and make the experience great for the online audiences who may or may not be paying? Let's do it. So chapter 3 has 4 case studies in it. The first case study is the NAB Show. And if anybody knows how to live stream, it's the National Association of Broadcasters show. Every year it's held in Las Vegas, Nevada, except this year it was canceled due to the coronavirus outbreak. So I'm actually working with the company that produces the official NAB Show live, Broadcast Beat, and we're going to be doing this all virtual. And so we'll talk a little bit about what you can do, whether you're a big conference with over 100,000 attendees or a small summit like the StreamGeeks Summit, which only had 250 in-person attendees. And we'll talk about Vid Summit and then one more called the Worship Summit, which was all digital. Let's get into it. All right, so looking at our case studies here, the very first one we'll look at is the NAB Show. It's in Las Vegas, and the experience for me, I actually got a chance to host what I consider a television quality show, and it was really thrilling. We got up on stage, and the production was really high quality. And there was even a large in-person audience and chairs, and they were sitting down, and thousands of people were watching. And you could just imagine having someone in your ear going, you're going to be live in 3, 2, 1. You're live. And it really is a thrilling environment. And this type of production value is ideal for large conferences with thousands of attendees and thousands of large viewers online. But it may be surprising to find out that the NAB Show does not charge for access to their live stream. It's purely promotional, and they actually have sponsors who pay to be in the live streams and have, kind of a title advertisements inside of the live stream. So the production's mainly put on for sponsors, and that's how they sell additional advertising. It's also maybe surprising to find out that they do not live stream to Facebook and YouTube. And that is partially because one of the sponsors is a private content delivery network. So that may change in 2020, where they're trying to maximize their exposure during a time when the event is completely canceled. So an event like this, really values the ability to get folks on stage, have good video production quality, and, get out to the world and spread their message. Unlike some other shows, now this is me here with the team from Microsoft, and we were looking at LinkedIn Live was being launched in 2019 there. And this is really good for large conferences, thousands of attendees, right? So mainly sponsors, and it's surprising to me that they don't live stream it to Facebook and YouTube, but I think that will change. Now, other conferences like Vid Summit's been ahead of the curve since 2015 when they started the conference. They've always sold on-demand videos. On-demand videos added an additional revenue stream to the conference, but in 2017, Daryl Eves asked me to help him launch the virtual ticket side sales of his conference. And I went to Los Angeles and I helped them do that. And that year, Gary Vaynerchuk was actually the keynote speaker. And we set up 3 separate rooms with live streaming systems. So the online audience could actually choose which presentation they wanted to see. When you have a conference with multiple spaces like that, here's Gary Vaynerchuk. This is a PTZ Optics camera in the main space there. That was the keynote speech. You really need to deliver a good quality experience to the viewers because they are paying. It was about $200 per virtual ticket that was purchased. And I got to understand what it was like to deliver an experience to an online audience. And early on, it was clear that folks from around the world on Facebook and social media were really excited to be part of this event, even though they weren't there in person. So we gave behind the scenes cameras there. We were able to zoom into folks who had questions directly to the speakers. And it was just a really good presentation. We used SDI cameras. You can see here we were using vMix with an audio mixer. You can see a live view cellular bonding system that we used, and we'll talk a little bit about that in the course, and an IP joystick to follow Gary Vaynerchuk around. Man, that guy likes to run around on stage. He was quite an experience trying to follow him, and you can see there the PTZ Optics camera control that we were using to make it simple so that one single video producer, that's David Foster from the Live Streaming Pros, was able to operate all the cameras. So there was no cameraman needed for this shoot. This is 2020, right? We know how to do that. There's the backstage camera. And the other thing you can see here is the large screen televisions that were projecting up onto the screen so people could see things. That's called image magnification. Now, the other thing that Daryl Eves did, and we did this at the StreamGeeks Summit as well, is something called in real life streaming. And this is where you can have a mobile backpack on your back with a camera, maybe like a Sony GoPro or a Sony action camera, and you can walk around and stream in real life. And that was something that Daryl Eves did an amazing job of, and we'll look at this in more detail. But essentially, he was able to live stream his in real life kind of experience throughout kind of behind the scenes of the conference, and he streamed that for free to YouTube and Facebook. Now, he has over almost 1 million YouTube subscribers. So by doing that, he was able to use social media to drive more virtual ticket sales. And he used that as a draw. And it's something we'll talk about, using social media to deliver non-exclusive content, if you will, and have like a lower third or a call to action for people to go directly to the virtual ticket buy page and gain the exclusive access that you're promoting and hyping up. So the StreamGeeks Summit was a summit that we put on in New York City, and this conference brought together a growing community of video production enthusiasts from the New York City area. We wanted to create a common ground area for novices and experts in the industry to intermingle. We also wanted to have a conference that we could use as a case study to say, hey, we live streamed this whole thing. We sold virtual tickets. We sold on-demand tickets to the video replays. And we found out that for our first year of a summit, we sold 900 tickets, but only 250 of those were for in-person tickets. The other 650 tickets were a mix of basic and premium virtual ticket sales, meaning more than 250% of our sales came from virtual tickets. So if you think about it, depending on the way that you do this, you can take your event global and you can really reach large audiences. So this is a full day of live streaming. That was our keynote speaker there, Jeffrey Colon, who did that's all available online as well. And we sold over 250 virtual tickets, 250% more virtual tickets than in virtual tickets. And after hosting the StreamGeeks Summit, we said, you know what? I want to try an all digital summit. We wanted to have a summit for houses of worship. And we knew there's 35,000 churches in the United States alone, and they're all over the world. So these folks are all over, and they don't necessarily have the budget to fly out to anywhere and spend money for plane tickets and hotels and all of that. So we said, let's skip all of that and create a digital event that folks can go to. And so that was the Worship Summit Live. And what we found out actually was that the ROI for doing that, our return on investment for generating leads, we work with a lot of churches to help them live stream. The ROI was so much better than actually paying for a venue and hotels and fees and all the things that cost to have a regular event. To do it all digital, we had 5,000 churches sign up for this, way more than we did for the StreamGeeks Summit, which cost a lot more. So looking at the two, we had one summit, which we did want to have an in-person event where we could really do some great networking and have an awesome event. And that is one amazing thing. We plan to do that every year. But at the 2020 Worship Summit, we did it all digital, and we had a much larger reach, actually. We still sold over 5,000 tickets and had tons of churches all around the world join, and we sold VIP tickets as well. So that'll be a great case study that we'll look at. The other interesting part of this case study was that we live streamed to YouTube and Facebook, but we also had a Zoom video conference meeting that was open during the entire event, and it allowed attendees to get more personal access to the speakers, who would join for 30 to 45 minutes after their main stage presentation. So this event really falls in line with what people are calling today virtual summits, where experts get together to produce a premium online experience that viewers can watch from around the world. So it's really a great new trend. And those are kind of the backdrop that we're going to be referencing throughout this course. Those are the case studies. Those are the types of events that are doing well integrating virtual tickets. So there's 3 different types. There is the traditional conference that really is designed to be an in-person conference that's adding live streaming to gain additional exposure and maybe sponsorship opportunities. Then there's the hybrid conference, much like Vid Summit and the StreamGeeks, where there's a smaller conference that has either a large amount of their attendees, a large percentage of their attendees are online now, and it's just an additional revenue stream and great, profit generator for that event. And then finally, there's the all digital summit, which is an interesting new way to keep costs really low, yet still learning and using the tactics and strategies you learn in this book still can deliver amazing online experiences that are incredibly valuable for viewers and virtual attendees. So that's where we're going to move on to for our next course. We're going to look at high level. What is the technology, the nuts and bolts for putting together an event for streaming? And then we'll move forward on how to deliver the most value when you have this stuff in place. Don't forget to let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I am happy to answer them. Let's move on to our next video.